What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video. And today we're going to do something a little bit special. We're going to do a 2-round mock draft. Now, this one will not have trades, but just want to give you guys something new. It's a new point of view. And also, I just want to give you guys some fun content. So if you guys like mock drafts, of course, this is your place. So like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I post content every single day, if not multiple times a day, because it's fun. I like giving you guys good content. So let's kick off the draft. Starting off with the number 1 pick. The Jaguars are sitting here. And again, I'm going to do this logic so you guys see it. Again, this is all live. I'm not going to be doing any of this pre-recorded BS, any of this, oh, I already did the mock draft before. That's not fun. That's not fun at all because you guys deserve something real, something good, and not something that was just planned ahead of time because that's boring as hell. So we want to look at the Jaguars. I want to analyze this edge position because obviously Aidan Hutchinson, even though he didn't perform as well as we wanted him to against Georgia, he still did a lot better job than the stats said. You can look back on the tape. He did well. So definitely somebody who still deserves being taken around this spot. But if we pass on him, what's our worst case scenario? We get Drake Jackson, Myjai Sanders, Arnold Ebiketie. That's a worst case scenario. These guys are first round quality talents, right? I'm a little bit lower on Drake Jackson, so it's a second round. But Myjai Sanders, Arnold Ebiketie, both first round talents. So I think that's a pretty good way to start if we pass on edge. Let's look at tackle because, again, left tackle is going to be a vacancy. You can't continue paying $20 million a year to a guy who is not worth $20 million a year. So you can look at it and, okay, let's just say we take Evan Neal or we miss on Evan Neal here. Where are we going to get in the next round? Bernard Raymond. He's okay. Honestly, I don't really get the hype on him. I've studied him. Yes, he has a lot of development to do, but this is a team that needs somebody now. Like it needs somebody to protect Trevor Lawrence now. What you might get Max Mitchell to play right tackle. Yeah. Okay. I mean, at the top of the second, you're looking at pretty slim pickings, right? You could go after safety at the top of the second too. That's fair. But the value of an offensive tackle is, in my estimation, and I've looked at all of these guys now, pretty poor. You know, that it's not looking too good. So from that logic, I'm going to be taking Evan Neal at number 1. Again, today is going to be a very big litmus test. And I still will be doing a 4-round mock this week with trades. So if you guys like mocks, again, stay here. We got some good content coming up for you. But we'll definitely see after today how that ends up panning out. But I think Evan Neal is definitely going to be worth the number 1 overall pick after his performance today. Number 2 with the Lions. So this is a spot where I would consider a trade back if I were the Lions. Again, I think that if you do trade back and are able to acquire Kyle Hamilton for a team that wants to move up for Aidan Hutchinson, I think that'd be a bright move. The problem is the price is too high. I don't know why people don't understand that. I understand that they want to move back, get more picks for their franchise, still get a really good player. I get that. The problem is that's not usually going to happen because people have to pay the price to move up. And teams don't really have much of a need to move up when the edge class is this deep. So with that being said, Aidan Hutchinson, I know KT might fit the scheme a little bit better. Aidan Hutchinson, I think, is schemeless. And I think that his heights are higher than KT's. I think he's a little bit more consistent. So Aidan Hutchinson out of Michigan going right here. Unfortunately, Texans, you do not get Evan Neal. I know my resident Texans fan, Sarah, is going to be very disappointed. However, we are still sitting here. There are still amazing options. Yes, Kyle Hamilton's here. I know y'all don't want him. I'm going to be honest. I don't care what people want, but it's nice to hear what you guys think because you guys are the super studies of your fan base. Like you guys are the ones who are preparing for the next draft, looking what you guys need. So safety is definitely something I would target, but Lonnie Johnson is somebody who I think should be there more full-time than anything. I think KT, I know there's Jadeveon Clowney flashbacks. You can't let a failure of a great investment in the past be what spoils another great investment in the future. Like these are not the same player. They're different people. Different people have different projections. And yeah, could they end up doing the same exact thing? Absolutely. But I don't think that saying because KT is a little bit similar to what Jadeveon Clowney was, means he's going to be the exact same career trajectory. Remember, there were injuries in there. There were inconsistencies. KT has insane potential. When you watch those high-level plays, I think that he is absolutely phenomenal. And that is something that this team desperately needs. You need an infusion of fun. And again, tackle would be a very fun option. If you traded back, maybe a team fell in love with KT or Kyle Hamilton so much they offered you a couple first. Let's just say the Giants were so into Kyle Hamilton that they're willing to give you this first and then a next year first and a second. Do it, move back and get a tackle. That's not going to happen. So KT is going to be the pick here. Again, there is no trades at this spot. Like this draft, again, I'm trying to remember I'm going to try to remind myself of doing that because that's a little bit tough, but because I've always done trades, but this is the right value for the pick. Number 4 with the Jesus Christ, the Jets, Kyle Hamilton. You have to go with the best player available. You cannot miss. And I know, again, there's this Jamal Adams aversion. You guys are scared that he's going to be Jamal Adams. Totally different player. This guy, you're not drafting for physicality, right? You're drafting him for extremely high IQ, excellent coverage ability. The only, I think it was, I don't even know if it was a touchdown, but there was a deep pass by Desmond Ridder that got caught with Kyle Hamilton in direct man coverage. And he totally missed the ball, right? The problem is he tracked the ball where he should have been. Desmond Ridder threw a bad ball and then he was too late to realize where it was going. So I don't think that's Kyle Hamilton's fault 100%. More like Desmond Ridder's fault for kind of being inaccurate as hell. So just got to put that in there. Kyle Hamilton is just on another level. You just don't see safeties ever like him. So I'm very intrigued to see how he develops. I think he might be Jesse Bates plus. You might see Jesse Bates heights as his consistent basis, which would be insane. Definitely something the Jets need. Giants sitting here at 5. I mean, y'all got to go offensive line, right? It has to be the case. I know Karlaftis is on the board. I would cry if you went Karlaftis over a tackle. Again, you look at the next pick. Are the Panthers going to be taking an edge? No, right? Again, there's no trades here. So it's not like a team could try to move up for a QB or anything, which they shouldn't anyways. But they could be taking a tackle if Akem is on the board or if Charles Cross is on the board. You don't want to be left with the leftovers. You can get your edge one as well as your tackle one and not have to worry at all about them. I think that's the best move. Akem, some people think he's a guard. That's very understandable. He does have some guard tendencies, but honestly, his best play is in pass protection. And that is insane because with his strength, if he's able to calm down, be able to not whiff on a couple of blocks, this guy is very Mekhi Becton-esque. I don't think I've seen a player as strong as him, is both in the upper body and lower. This guy could definitely be a freak of nature. Again, I think his weak suits the run game and his body is built perfectly for the run. So we'll see who the new head coach hire is for the Giants. Hell, if it's Flores, that would not be good because the offensive line definitely isn't good in Miami, but he still might be able to be a very good contributor to this team. Number 6 with the Panthers. So the Panthers, it's got to be a quarterback or else a tackle here, right? You're looking at Matt Rule might be gone at this point. Again, it's in the morning of, it's the same morning that you guys are watching this. We haven't seen Matt Rule be gone, right? So the question is, if they bring in a new regime, do they get a new quarterback? Usually they either go with a safe pick or a quarterback. It's just one of the two. You either change your franchise completely or else take a safe pick that will generally bolster your franchise in the long run. So if they bring on a new coaching hire, they probably will want to get their own quarterback. That might be a veteran. So if it were me picking here, solely me, because I'm trying to blend in some realism here, I'm going Charles Cross all the way, right? You don't have a pick till the 4th round. Your offensive line is pretty trash. But then again, quarterback is the most impactful position on the field. Kenny Pickett's going to get a lot of hype. He's day one ready. I'm not a huge fan of him. I think he's a worse version of what Derek Carr is. I think he's Derek Carr without the clutchness, and he has a lot of issues. But again, the NFL doesn't see that, and there are those high-level plays that make him very attractive. So for me, I think I might be going Kenny Pickett here anyways. I think that just has to be it. Based on, one, you win when you have, or like if a coach is going to come in and he wants to revamp a franchise, do it through free agency, but like spend like the 30 to 50 million that you're going to pay on a quarterback per year and spend that towards free agency on your defense, your offensive line. You're probably going to end off a little bit better than if you go a high-end quarterback with a crap offensive line. So I think that, or with a rookie offensive line, I think getting a rookie quarterback and then putting veterans around him will be a better formula than getting a veteran and putting rookies around him. That's my logic. Number 7 with the Giants, this got to be Karlaftis. As much as personally, if I'm here, I'm drafting Linderbaum or else Nakobe Dean. Problem is, I don't think that's the case. And again, with how I know this draft will probably pan out, I think I need to get Karlaftis now. He's such a giant, isn't he? Like you just look at him, it's like, yeah, that guy's going to be a giant, right? That he's going to go to New York. He might be a Jet, but I think he's going to be a giant. Like he's such a good player, man. I'm a huge fan of George Karlaftis, very well-rounded as well. Not much I can complain about with him. He's my second highest graded edge defender in this class, above KT. But again, KT has those high-level plays, which, of course, that's what makes the big difference. Remember, like 1 to 3 plays a game can really change whether you win or lose. And if KT is hitting on those 1 to 3 plays, that's the difference between a consistent player and somebody who has much higher heights. Number 8 for the Falcons. So I used to always go corner at this pick, and I still might, but I think that edge and wide receiver are huge needs. The problem is, without trades being present, I don't think anybody is worth it. I don't think Jameson Williams is worth a top 10 pick. Again, he's somebody who's just scratching his potential, and this is a team that you don't really want somebody to develop. You need somebody who can actually be an impact. So Jameson can be that. I just want a guy who I know could be number 1. So Garrett Wilson would be my first choice for this team, right? I like Jameson Williams as a guy who can produce number 1 stats at a number 2 position. Think about the Saints with Michael Thomas. Garrett Wilson would be my ideal guy for this team to trade back and select. If you can trade back with a team like the Vikings who might want to move up for, let's just say, Derek Stingley, that'd be ideal. That's not going to happen. So we're going to go Derek Stingley. Again, the ceiling is ridiculous, and you already have that number 1 cornerback slot filled in. So you're basically going to say, hey, I might have AJ Terrell and Derek Stingley playing at their highest heights and locking it freaking down. That to me is worth it. Derek Stingley Jr. out of LSU going to the Falcons. Again, the risk is that you still don't have a number 2 corner, but you still have your 1. The reward, if it works, you have arguably the best corner duo who is extremely young and also on cheaper contracts in the NFL. Just got to put that out there. Broncos, after seeing how bad Drew Lock is, I don't think they're a very attractive spot for many veterans that are going to be able to elevate you to another level. Sam Howell is my guy here. Again, you're going to pair him up with Javonte Williams. Yeah, you can get one more offensive tackle, but I think even like Max Mitchell in the second could be a good guy here. Sam Howell has to be this pick. I could really see him in a Broncos uni. He is my number 1 quarterback in the class. You know, you could say he's Baker Mayfield. I think he's Baker Mayfield plus. A little bit less accurate, a little bit more mobile, and without the personality concerns. Like, he's a very good leader. He's not an ass wipe the way Baker could be, even though Baker has his positives, he also has his negatives. Sam Howell is a guy who I think could really lead this franchise to bright places. You have an amazing receiving core. You have a great run game, which he's familiar with. And the offensive line is going to be an upgrade from UNC because UNC sucks, right? Their offensive line is no bueno. This is perfect for Sam Howell. Perfect spot. When you have a nice ass defense like that too, I'm pretty confident this would be a home run pick. It was actually one of the first picks I think I did for the Broncos. I thought that was a great fit for him, and it definitely is. Number 10 with the Jets, back on the board. So at this spot, we can't go after Karlaftis. We can't go after like a corner like Derek Stingley, which I still probably wouldn't do. So I'm down to 2 guys. I'm on the offensive line right now. You got Charles Cross here, and you got Tyler Linderbaum. Linderbaum can play center or guard, depending on where you want to put him. But again, we got to look at what will we lose. At tackle, we have George Fant for another year. You have guys for another year. So you can't have Charles Cross on your roster and have him start. And then if injuries happen, of course, you can sub him in. But you're also putting him over to right tackle, which he's never been. This year, he had a very big learning curve. He had to end up learning how to use his weight. He added another 15 pounds, and he looked a lot better at it. That being said, Tyler Linderbaum is on another level. He's my number 5 player in the class. Very well could be my number 4 when all is said and done. I've already studied him. He is actually my 3rd highest graded player. First one, Evan Neal, and then second is Aidan Hutchinson. He's special. We're gonna go Tyler Linderbaum here. Just throw a little bit of a nice toss into this draft, just kind of changing it up a little bit. Never have Tyler Linderbaum go to this team. Apart from 1 week, again, guard or center, this guy is on another level. Number 11 with the good old Washington football team. This needs to be a quarterback too. It does. It really does. I can't find, like, even Charles Cross is here. That's an amazing pick for them. But you did just sign Charles Leno to a 3-year, $37.5 million deal. You have Sam Cosmi at the other tackle spot. Throw tackle the hell out of here. Guard something you could be worried about. So Kenyon Green, certainly on the radar. Malik Willis probably should be on your radar. He should be. But I think you want someone who will start now. Matt Corral's better now than Malik Willis is. And that's kind of controversial. I don't even know if that's 100% true, but I know everybody else in the world would see it that way. I love Malik Willis. He's my QB2. Matt Corral's my QB3. So we're going to go Matt here. I think he also fits better. He is Taylor Heineke plus. So you want to upgrade your team. Matt Corral might be the right guy to do it. So Matt Corral's going to upgrade it compared to Taylor Heineke. Malik Willis could be a complete bust. And this team has, well, I love Malik, but it's unfortunately the truth. He's a boomer bust prospect completely. But this team is ready to do great things. You have a solid receiving core. You have a solid running back. You have a solid O-line. And you have a pretty damn good defense that just underperformed this year. You just need a better quarterback to take you all the way. It's not a time to revamp your franchise. It's a time to take it in and be able to kick some ass with your franchise and slightly upgrade it. So either a veteran or Matt Corral is going to do that for you. At this pick, Sauce Gardner is going to be the selection. Again, you got Patrick Peterson in the offseason. This is Patrick Peterson 2.0, but possibly better. Sauce Gardner is an absolute stud. I love him to death. Number 13. Again, I've been doing this for a long time, guys. Garrett Wilson, I thought he was Odell Beckham Jr. when I saw him, and this is a perfect team for him to be what they wanted with Odell Beckham Jr., a true wide receiver 1. Garrett Wilson out of the Ohio State University. Someone came at me in the comments the other day and was like, hey, you're copying everybody else with the Browns. No, look back on the video. I have video evidence. I've been doing this for a hell of a long time. I think Garrett Wilson is a stud pick for this team. I think that they should have been getting Garrett Wilson since the moment that they got rid of OBJ. When they had OBJ on the roster, I still considered it, right? This is Odell Beckham Jr. He is my wide receiver 1 in the class. Again, you need someone who's all around, and whether that's going to be Baker on your team, whether it's going to be a different quarterback, Garrett Wilson is the best option you can give them. You already have a deep threat in Anthony Schwartz. Don't screw it up by overpopulating it with speedsters. Get the guy who's going to make the biggest impact, Garrett Wilson. Number 14 with the Ravens. Honestly, when I first heard about this, him above the Eagles, I was like, ooh, okay. Tyler Linderbaum's going before the Eagles. Spoiler alert, that might happen still to the Ravens in the trade mock. It's not spoiler alert. I haven't even done it yet. But at this spot, could you pass on David Ojabo if you're the Ravens? Can you? Interior defensive line, I would never take Jordan Davis in a heartbeat. I would never even blink if it came to looking at Jordan Davis. DeMarvin Leal has a lot of upside, but at this point, he's not worth it. I don't think he's a first-round lock. When you look at the guys here, you can get Devontae Wyatt in the second, Perrion Winfrey in the second. That value at interior defensive line is incredible. You could get Charles Cross here, and you can move him to right tackle. I think that's really damn good value. It's him or Ojabo, and again, you do need a tackle because Jawan James and Villanueva are not going to be filling the spot next to Stanley. Okay. Charles Cross is going to be the pick. It's a great selection. He's my number 10 player in the class right now. He might even be higher when all is said and done again, but Charles Cross is worth it. Number 15 for the Eagles. This got to be David Ojabo, right? You guys lack edge. Now, like BG should be brought back on a 1-year deal to train David Ojabo, but you're also losing Derek Barnett. So you have Josh Sweat there. That's pretty much what you have at your true edge position. You desperately need one. David Ojabo brings the most upside. Again, actually at this pick, we'll look at some other options because I still think I'm going to take David here, but we could go Andrew Booth. We could also go Nakobe Dean, Devin Lloyd, right? Devin Lloyd probably is going to be the better of the two for this squad. Again, you're going to look for someone who actually wants to be a Mike in the middle. 235, 240 pounds. You're going to want Devin Lloyd over a 225 Nakobe. But Nakobe's good in coverage, right? Like he's fun. He's a really good player. So those guys are certainly an option here. Again, let's look at what happens if we pass on a linebacker here. Do they take a linebacker? I don't think the Chargers do. And I don't think that the Saints do either. So I'm going to say screw linebacker. Edge is something the Chargers would take. We're taking David Ojabo here. I think it's a great fit, something that you need to do. And at this spot, where else are we going to look? Unfortunately, I don't think that Howie Roseman is going to think with his brain per usual. So I would consider looking on the offensive side because I do think that going Andrew Booth might be the smartest move here. Because again, corner, it's a pretty big issue. Roger McCreary also, he's going to be a guy who, if he plays well at the Senior Bowl, could be taken at the spot. I want to play with the idea of going Jaquan Brisker at one of these spots as well. I want to hear your guys' thought on that because I might be doing that in the trade mock where I trade back and get Jaquan Brisker because I honestly don't think he's worth that high of a pick, but certainly in there. Oh man, at this spot, like, can I pass up? I'm going to go corner here. And I think I'm going to go Andrew Booth. They didn't go with Asante Samuel Jr. last year. So I'm going to say for this time, since there's no trades and the Chargers could take corner, we're going to go Andrew Booth Jr. out of Clemson. He's a guy with extreme athleticism, and his only issue is he has inconsistencies. If he's able to learn from Darius Slay, this guy is on many people's boards, cornerback 1. So I think these guys are solidified top 3. Roger McCreary probably solidified top 4. Just depends on what order you have them. So at number 17, this is an interesting spot because the Chargers could go a multitude of routes. So they can go edge here, right? They can go Jermaine Johnson. That'd be, I love Jermaine. That's somebody who I'm thinking of. They can go a right tackle here. They can just say, I'm going to take Kenyon Green, put him at right tackle. They could also take a corner, Roger McCreary, and put him in. With that being said, I think the right move is to go Kenyon Green. You can play him at right guard, but I think his best position is going to be left tackle. Hopefully, you can use him at right, though. Rashawn Slater, Kenyon Green at tackle, probably the best move. Short-term, Kenyon Green at right guard. Long-term, train him up to be a right tackle. I'm stealing him from my Steelers. You guys know it. I love the Steelers, and I think Kenyon Green's the perfect fit for him. I've taken all the guys I'd want to take for the Steelers at this point, but Kenyon Green has to be the selection there. 18, this has to be Jameson Williams. It has to be. There's no doubt in my mind it has to be Jameson Williams. Could be Chris Olave, but this is literally the perfect pairing to what you have there already. Like, he's literally like, you can't get better than Michael Thomas and Jameson Williams. Like, in this draft, you can't. So at number 19 for the Eagles, we're going to go linebacker. I think we are. Because our second round pick is not going to be for too long, or it's going to be pretty late. And I'm not sure Chad Muma or Brandon Smith are going to be there. I don't even trust Christian Harris at this point. So you look at the guys here. It's Devin Lloyd or Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean's the more flashy pick, right? He's more fun. Devin Lloyd, he's going to be the better pick. He's apparently the best defender that Utah's coach has ever coached. Best player he's ever coached. So that shows something. It shows some great determination. He played in the bowl game as well. Not going to get on other people for not playing. Again, I understand injury issues, and you have to take care of yourself too, because after college, it's just you. Your college doesn't give a damn about you unless you do something great for them. So I think Nakobe Dean would be a fun ass option for this team. The problem is, I'm not mistaken, Gannon doesn't blitz as much as he needs to. I'm going to go Devin Lloyd because I do think that I want to give you guys somebody who is going to be a day one impact. I think he's going to have a little bit more hype than Nakobe Dean because Nakobe's going to have all the speed and the coverage ability against 6-foot linebackers who are 225. It just feels better to fill a Mike need with a Mike, right? So Nakobe is going to be a weird fit. Davion Taylor's still up in the air as to whether he can actually be more that will. I think Nakobe Dean might challenge that one, but Devin Lloyd going to have to be this pick. Number 20 for the Steelers. This is a tough one because I'm like heavily considering Malik Willis at this point. Dude, does Tomlin think that way? Probably not. But you look at the guys on the board, it's like, ugh. Like Roger McCreary is going to be the first guy who I think of. Is Roger McCreary as well as Malik Willis here? I mean, you could go Jordan Davis. I'd pray to God that the Steelers don't. It seems like some of the Steelers would do at this point. They're going to do it. They know Malik Willis here out of Liberty. And you guys may say Tomlin won't go quarterback in the first. I don't think he would either, unless he's in this situation. One, no trade backs. Two, nobody who's going to upgrade the team right now besides Roger McCreary. Again, you could also say DeMarvin Leal would be a fun one. I don't see him as a Steeler. So it's Roger McCreary or Malik Willis. I'm going to take Malik at this point. Again, the value of quarterback in round 2 is a lot worse, in round 3 especially, than cornerback round 2, 3. You can get Kobe Bryant in the next round or in the 3rd round if you're lucky. So I think that is the best move. The Steelers go Malik Willis. And hey, it's a hell of a lot better than Mason Rudolph. The guy looks like a deer in headlights. Like, it's 21 with the Patriots. So this is down to a couple dudes here. I'm looking at wide receivers here. Chris Olave would be a very solid separator. It would be the Devontae Smith for Mac Jones, right? We already saw how lethal that was in college. Also, he has nobody. Probably going to be the pick. You could also look at Roger McCreary. I see Roger McCreary as a real Patriot. Like you read Roger McCreary, just first team that comes into mind, Patriots. Literally that. Nakobe Dean as well. Guy who could be a really good linebacker for this team, could be very versatile. I'm going to go with Chris Olave. I think that Mac Jones needs something. You need a wide receiver 1. Chris Olave has speed. He has great routes. He's going to be an interesting prospect to do, to evaluate in terms of comparing him to Drake London and Treylon Burks, who are a lot larger, more physical. But I think you want to get Devontae Smith, kind of like Devontae Smith, like 0.9, rather than getting after somebody who could be like a DK Metcalf or anything like that. Because again, I think this fits Mac Jones' personality type and quarterback type a lot more than a guy like Treylon Burks or Drake London. Feel free to disagree. I'm fine with that. I just think Chris Olave will be the better choice. So number 22, this probably should be a wide receiver as well. Again, offensive tackles, not looking too hot at this point. I'm not a fan of any of these guys in the first. Really not. Even Ferrari, who I think might be my next tackle, not a fan of. And Darren Kennard's going to be a right tackle. Don't think that's a big need for this team. Edge, you could go after DeMarvin Leal. I don't think that's a good option. Travon Walker would be a weird one for this team. But I think wide receiver is going to be the best choice. And when you look at it, Drake London can play boundary. He's really good after the catch. He's good in the short game. He's good in the mid, and he's good deep. Treylon Burks is a fun guy as well. You're bringing in a new head coach. Which is absolutely stupid, by the way. I'm going to give my 2-piece here. Everybody will agree with this, so I don't need to spend too much time on it. How damn stupid is the Miami Dolphins franchise right now? Like, how dumb are they? It's just ridiculous, right? Like, Brian Flores has been phenomenal. Granted, he missed on a quarterback. Okay, cool. You know what? Like, yeah, he missed on Herbert. He missed on Fields, even though Fields has not been playing like Herbert has. I don't get why after beating Bill Belichick twice in his final year, you let him go. The guy had a winning record with a quarterback people say does not have a very high ceiling. I don't think he does either. And that's just, again, that's physical limitations. I just don't get it. I don't know who you're going to bring in. I don't know if you want to bring in more of an offensive mind. Apparently, Greeny actually brought up a pretty good 2-piece on this. He talked about Jim Harbaugh and how I think the GM might be the GM or the owner has a really good connection with Jim. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure Jim Harbaugh is not an upgrade over Brian Flores. But regardless, we got to get a wide receiver here. Drake London has to go sometime. I think he is probably the most talented wide receiver when you look at his full body of work. The guy's just excellent route runner with his hands. It's USC. Their hands are incredible there. I wish their hands coach would come to SMU because ours are garbage, but he's an absolute phenomenal athlete as well. I think he's going to be in the 4.5s, maybe even the high 4.4s. At 6'5", that's incredible. He's great after the catch. I think this is a home run hit. Let's go to number 23 for the Raiders. Let's speed this up a little bit because I don't want y'all to spend forever on this video. I think this might have to be a corner. You know, you look at Kaiir Elam, you look at Roger McCreary. Casey Hayward's not going to probably be there. So that's definitely something I'd look at. Again, you could go to Marvin Leal here. But honestly, you could go wide receiver too. You could. Treylon Burks would be an interesting option for this team. Jahan Dotson as well. Both these guys are like Jahan Dotson fits a little bit more what you're looking for, but Treylon Burks is probably going to run those 4.4s, maybe even like high 4.3s. Just he's a weird, freaky athlete. He might be the target for this team. So we're going to do it. It's going to be a weird one because I want to go Roger McCreary more than Treylon Burks, but we're going to do it anyways. Treylon Burks out of Arkansas going to the Raiders. Does he fit? Probably not. But nobody else in this class really does either. And you're trying to get that wide receiver 3 spot filled in. And Derek Carr's been playing phenomenally. You give him something. You know, you got Darren Waller there. Give him a guy who's like DK Metcalf on the outside. Number 24 with the Cards. I'm down to 2 guys here, Travon Walker and Roger McCreary. Both positions, I think, a pretty big need. I think the value of corner certainly better down the line because, I mean, you could, of course, go edge in the next round too. I like Travon Walker. I'm going to go it again. I think that's just the right move. Just for me, I love Travon Walker. I think he's a perfect fit. Jermaine Johnson is above both him and Ojabo. I love Jermaine, but I mean, realistically, you're looking at 2 guys who are juniors who are absolutely phenomenal athletes. So, yeah, I think they definitely go before Jermaine. Number 25 with the Bengals. This might be a team that might reach on a guy like Ferrer just because, again, he has done some very high-level plays. But I think going after corner might be the best move. You got Roger McCreary here. I think he'd be a lockdown corner for this team. Kaiir Elam as well. Both of them are phenomenal. But I've never done this pick before. Roger McCreary. I think corner is a definite need for this team, and I think it's a good spot to go. I do. I really do. Let's go number 26 for the Bills. The Bills, we could get help on the offensive line. Darian Kennard wouldn't be a bad guy because you could also play him at tackle if people get injured. That being said, I have him listed as a right tackle only. I don't like him as a guard. And I also don't have him as a first. So that's why I didn't take him for the Bengals. So with that being said, I'm actually probably going to go with somebody who I think is phenomenal. And that's Tyler Smith. You look at the wide receivers here, you get Jahan Dotson, you can get George Pickens, but I think going Tyler Smith out of Tulsa, if he comes out, would be probably the best choice for this team. He's a redshirt junior. He is incredibly strong, but he's going to fit best at guard. And that's exactly what this team needs. And he has left tackle versatility. This guy is incredible. I don't know why more people aren't talking about him. I think after they actually rewatch his tape, this guy's going to be climbing boards. Definitely a very talented player out of Tulsa. Number 27. I finally get to put my number 31 player in the draft in this. So I'm pretty happy about that. Number 27. I think that the Lions should probably target wide receiver here. You got Jahan Dotson. You have George Pickens. Jahan just doesn't fill the void that George Pickens does. He doesn't. I want to see who else is on the board. I just want to make sure quarterback wasn't here. Randomly quarterbacks fall, and that's fine. Nakobe Dean's here, though. We got to go with him. Nakobe Dean needs to be taken in the first. There are just teams in here that I can't see taking him. Again, you could have taken him here for the Dolphins, but with our pick in the second as well, we're right here. There's good value there, and I don't think there's good value for receiver. This team, you have a pick right here. You can be fine. Number 28 for the Cowboys. You guys know exactly where I'm going with this as well. Jaquan Brisker. We're also doing a second round, so stick around. We're having fun here. Jaquan Brisker out of Penn State, a very talented safety who's going to be insane. I don't even want to think about Diggs, Parsons, Brisker. Too good. Too damn good. Number 29 with the Chiefs. This got to be wide receiver or edge. I don't like the receivers for this team right now. I don't at all. So edge, you look at guys, Jermaine Johnson's going to be a fun one. This time I'm going to go Kingsley Nagbear. I think that he fits a little bit better than Jermaine Johnson for the squad. But I mean, again, it's pick your poison at this point. All of them are phenomenal. At number 30, again, we're not doing trades. So I'm like thinking of a team that should trade up for Jermaine right now. I love Jermaine. Number 30, I think this is going to be DeMarvin Leal. It's a team that could definitely take him and just do whatever the hell they want with him. And he's a phenomenal athlete. So if he's able to lose some pounds, get back to his 290 form, this guy's going to be incredible. I used to have him as a top 10 talent in this class. Number 31 with the Titans, I think that wide receiver should still be a position to look at. I think Jahan Dotson's an amazing guy to pair up with AJ Brown and Julio Jones. He's a guy who one-man armied his entire roster, and he has an excellent release package. Is he going to be an exact deep threat? I don't think he honestly has that type of burning speed, but when you look at him, he has an amazing skill set to translate to the next level. He just positions himself so well, and that's something that when you have a quarterback like Ryan Tannehill is exactly what you need. You need somebody who's going to be able to position yourself to catch the ball in the best way possible. I'm going to go Jahan Dotson here. Never done this for the Titans, but I think that's a legit need for this team that should be filled. And number 32 with the Packers, could go offensive line, right? But I think Jermaine Johnson is just, him and Rashawn Gary rushing the passer. Damn, that's fun. So that's round one. I'm going to get a quick little sip of water here, but we're going to get right into round two. So sorry, Jaguars fans. We are not going to be getting Jermaine Johnson to your team. Shout out to Costco. No, not a sponsor, but for being able to supply water to college kids who cannot pay $1 billion for smart water. They help out you, boy. But at this spot, I'm down. I think you got to go edge here, right? You have to. That has to be the pick. Cameron Thomas is not in my repertoire for this draft. I don't like him that much. Old Ebiketie is a guy who I think would be a phenomenal athlete for this team. Myjai Sanders as well. I think Myjai is going to get a bit of hype because he actually did perform a lot better than what people think. He has 2.5 sacks on the year, but when you watch him play, it's like that. It doesn't matter what your stats were in college because, again, you look even at Odafe Owe is a pretty damn good explanation of this. All the stats go to zero. It doesn't matter what you did. It matters how you did it, right? So Arnold Ebiketie is a phenomenal pass rusher. He and Myjai Sanders are both really high on my board. I think Myjai might be a little bit of a better fit for this roster. Again, I mean, what? Isn't he like 5 pounds heavier? Like, it's not that big of a deal, right? I think Myjai is just, he's been pretty damn consistent. He's been clutch as well. He was very dominant last year. I think he's going to be able to be the best contributor for this roster. I don't know what the hate is on him. I don't know why it is, but I have Myjai Sanders rated as a first. Same thing with Arnold Ebiketie. Choose whoever you like, but I think Myjai fits a little bit better. 34, I think, for the Lions, I think you got to go George Pickens at this point, right? Let's see. Kyer Elam's still on the board. I think after his season, he could be falling. He could. This is not unrealistic to see Kyer Elam fall. Because, again, good players do fall. And Kyer Elam definitely didn't have the year he should have. A number one wide receiver is something this team truly lacks. Corners, not really. Again, you guys like to defend your corners. I still think you can upgrade it. You could go battle here as well. But I'm going to go George Pickens. I think it's the right option. You do need a number one receiver. 35 with the Jets. You could go linebacker here. I'm looking at Brandon Smith as a really fun option to grow under CJ Mosley. But again, Kyer Elam's here too, though. I think you got to go Kyer Elam. I know Brandon Smith's probably going to be taken here, but I could see Kyer Elam being taken here too. And I'm not a fan of it. We're going to go Kyer Elam. Again, do you need corner? No, but he's the best player available. And he does fill something on your roster, right? Like Kyer Elam's not a bum. He's going to start for you. And he's definitely going to, if he gets to the where he should be, play at an extremely high level. So I like Kyer Elam here. Number 36 for the Giants. This is going to be Brandon Smith. I love Brandon Smith to this team. I mean, it's such a huge need. And this guy, I mean, you're dropping from Nakobe Dean at 7 to Brandon Smith here. And let's see. Hold on. What do we get? We got George Karlaftis. So rather than you could have had Nakobe Dean and who else fits that type of thing? Josh Pascal, Cameron Thomas. I'm pretty happy with my selection. Number 37 with the Texans. I think this might, I mean, we could go Martin Emerson here. Oof. I mean, you could also go Daxton Hill, Jordan Battle. People will always get mad at me for not going Daxton Hill. I mean, the guy plays slot corner, dude. Like, he plays a slot corner safety hybrid, but he plays slot corner. Not all these teams are in desperate need of a slot corner. He could go to the Cowboys, but I think when Jaquan Brisker's on the board, there's absolutely no debate. This team was also one in the wide receiver candidate realm. I don't think any of these guys are anywhere close to the talent that this team probably would be looking for. So, unfortunately, I'd probably want to move back from here. We got to look at an offensive tackle, though, right? We have to. You got Nicholas Petit-Frere here. He can play both sides. There's already talk of moving Laramie Tunsil, so if you can get extra first for him, that wouldn't be a bad option at all. You can also play right tackle. That's something I really want to bring up. He can play right tackle. Bernard Raymond might be another guy that you keep in your repertoire. But I think offensive line is something this team should focus on. And it's really dependent on who you're going to be going after. Like Ferrari has some terrible reps, but he also has top 10 in this class type reps. Like he has phenomenal plays. I'm talking this out because I have no idea where I'm going with this pick, if we're going to be honest, because there's a plethora of guys who I'd want to take for this team. And even Jordan Davis would be a weird one, but I think you got to invest on the offensive line, right? You have to. Like you have to. Darian Kinnard's here. I want to talk about him because he can play right tackle. You know, I think that, the problem is you have right tackle filled up. Jamari Sawyer is another guy. Sean Ryan, a guy who can play left tackle for you. We're going to go Ferrari here. We are. I think that's going to be a good move. He can play both tackle spots. And again, with Laramie Tunsil potentially leaving, it might be a big position of need. At number 38 for the Jets, I think that this would be an interesting option to go. I mean, we're either going to go a linebacker here with like Chab Muma, or we're going to go edge or tackle. It's one of the three, right? So edge-wise, you get Arnold Ebiketie here. I think he'd be a fun option for this team. You know, you could go tight end, though. Trey McBride, I think, is going to be taken around this point. I don't think he falls any further, even though if I don't take him here, he will fall. I just think that teams are going to love what they're going to see over in Mobile. He's a phenomenal route runner. I don't know why the tight ends aren't being hyped up as much as they are. They are very talented, right? They're not Kyle Pitts tier, but these guys are on the Pat Freiermuth tier. They might be better than Pat Freiermuth. So for that, we're going to go Trey McBride. I see him going in the first. That's stupid, but you're getting a steal and then a guy who I think NFL teams will see as a steal at this point. Again, you don't see many guys with the talent of Trey McBride. He's certainly a guy worthy of taking at this point. 39 for the Bears. You know, I would love to get Darian Kinnard and play him at right tackle for this team. Again, he's a guy who fits what the Bears would be looking for right tackle. Again, I know that I think Larry Borum's been playing right tackle, playing well enough there to warrant not taking him. Wide receiver is going to be a huge issue for this team. So I definitely want to look at David Bell here. Sean Ryan as well, a guy who I want to look at, but I think the value in the third round would be a lot better than wide receiver. So I'm going to go David Bell. I know that one of my resident Bears fans loves David Bell to the Bears, and I've not done it yet. He is a guy who'd be a really good number 2. You have Darnell Mooney there, David Bell, maybe getting a one larger player. Well, Allen Robinson would have been perfect for it, but maybe one larger receiver would probably build a perfect trifecta. Number 40 for the Broncos. Honestly, I don't know why I could so see this happening. Arnold Ebiketie out of Penn State going here. He's such a stud. He's such a stud. I love him. Very good pass rusher. Going to be an instant impact on the squad. He and Bradley Chubb are going to be lighting it up for the Broncos. Really good selection as well in my eyes. Number 41, this has to be a corner selection. Has to be. Martin Emerson is a perfect pick for this team. You could go Kyler Gordon. You know, it's down to these two. Honestly, they happen keeping like Washington dudes around. I'm going to go Kyler Gordon here over Trent McDuffie because of the athleticism. Did it last draft, doing it this one again. Number 42 for Washington. This is going to be Dax Hill, a slot corner safety hybrid. I mean, you could have taken him here, but I think the value of edge versus a slot corner, I mean, the safety value is not good for the Broncos. You're going to be looking for slot corner. Dax Hill was a good selection, even if you took him here. Arnold Ebiketie was just a better selection for him. Number 43 with the Falcons. This has to be probably in the edge realm. You have to get pass rush. I think he had 17 pressures on the year. Drake Jackson's a perfect fit for this team. A guy with some very high-level plays. Just, he doesn't always come out and play at the level that he should. The Browns, this is going to be Jordan Davis. Again, at this point, you're getting the 2-down presence that you're looking for. So I think that he'd be an absolute great fit. For the Baltimore Ravens, you could look at the edge group here, but I think Devontae Wyatt kind of fits exactly what you're looking for. Again, you're looking for interior defensive lineman. Derek Wolfe is the only defensive end on your squad, 3-4 D end, that works. And that's not good. I don't even think he works that well. So Devontae Wyatt out of Georgia is going to be a great addition to this team. You know, Charles Cross and Devontae Wyatt, I think Devontae could be the best interior defensive lineman in the class. He's that good. 46, this spot, I'm debating between going a safety here, but I mean, to be honest, this team goes safety. Like, do they? Do they go safety right now? Just go Jordan Battle? They could. They could. I think that wouldn't be a bad choice for him at all. It's probably going to be the pick. Just looking at other positions where I could be targeting for them. I mean, you could look at another wide receiver here. John Mechie would be a very nice addition to the squad. Would probably be a perfect guy to get in a trifecta. You could look maybe for one more offensive line. I don't think so. Trying to see if there's any other reasons for me to go any other players here. I don't see any. Jordan Battle's the best value on the board. We're going to be taking him here. Jordan Battle out of Alabama. The right move for this team. Number 47 for the Colts. This has to be a wide receiver or corner. Trust me, I know. I think corners value in the third would be better than wide receivers. So we're going to go John Mechie out of Alabama. Again, those are the two positions of biggest need. We got to get one of them. So John Mechie, Michael Pittman, going to be a nice combo there for a while. 48 for the Chargers. This is down to 3 players. Josh Pascal. Going to be a great interior defensive lineman for this team. He's going to be perfect to replace Jerry Tillery. I love him on the inside. He's great. Nick Bonito. He's a perfect scheme fit for taking out Uchenna Nwosu's role. Even though he's 20 pounds lighter, still a phenomenal threat. And then you can also look at Trent McDuffie. You know, corner is a legit need in the squad. And I would heavily consider it here. So you could also look at Perion Winfrey. Wouldn't be a bad option. But I think I'm going to go Trent McDuffie here. I think I am. I think the value is a little bit too good, and you definitely need some extra help there. So getting Trent McDuffie, far from a bad selection. Number 49 with the Saints. I think I'm going to go Martin Emerson here. You can never go wrong with corner, and you are getting best player available. That's going to be the right move. Number 50 for the Dolphins. I think this would be a good spot to look at a guy like Nick Bonito to be an outside linebacker edge rusher. Again, he's a very talented player. He's graded out very well PFF-wise. Not going to be my exact scale for them, but I mean, it's going to be that or a linebacker here. Christian Harris should be the pick, honestly, over a linebacker edge rusher. I think Christian Harris or Chad Muma would be great. I don't see Chad Muma being on the Dolphins. He just doesn't seem to be a fit, while Christian Harris is. Chad Muma's falling, and it hurts me. At this spot, again, no trades. We're going to go Lewis Sign out of Georgia. Big hitting safety. Just the best value you can get for him. Leaving the Steelers on the board. Still needing offensive line. You could go Trevor Penning. Could go Darian Kennard. I think Trevor Penning could be definitely interesting. Bernard Raymond as well. But I think the Steelers go a right tackle with Darian Kennard over a guy like Trevor Penning. I think he's going to fall a little bit because, again, people are going to watch his tape and realize that he has a big amount of flaws. Bernard Raymond as well. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, though, the Steelers are moving away from their big tackle formula. So we could go Trevor Penning or Bernard here. I think we're going to go Bernard Raymond. He's going to get a bit more hype. I think it's the right move to be able to take a guy like that for this roster and continue to develop him. move over Dan Moore to the right tackle, or move Bernard since he's only been playing for 2 years. He's a former tight end, so he's athletic enough. Definitely somebody who I'd be intrigued with on this roster. Number 53 for the Niners. I mean, this has to be a boundary corner. You got to go Darion Kendrick if you want. I mean, you could go a different position, but the need is so big that you have to go with that. 54 for the Raiders. I mean, corner again. Corner is such a big issue. We just don't have anybody worth it at this point. We are actually going to go Daniel Faalele out of Minnesota. He's a right tackle. Right tackle is the big need right now. So getting him is probably the best possible case scenario for this team. And this is actually going to be interesting. We're going to go Trevor Penning here, I think, for the Patriots. You could go Chad Muma. Oh, I just want to get Trevor Penning off the board. I'm going to go Chad Muma here. I think he fits a little bit more what the Patriots are looking for than Trevor Penning. Patriots get a little more. I think they get him for larger schools. You look at Isaiah Wynn, he's from Georgia, but Chad Muma, going to be your Dante Hightower replacement? Yes, sir. Number 56 with the Cards. This is probably, I mean, damn, corner's not even good on the board right now. It's a weird spot because we just went edge already. We could go with another one. We could go with an outside linebacker pick with Nick Bonito. We could, but I don't think that's going to be what they do. Wide receiver wise, we could see Jalen Tolbert being this pick. We could. Now, that might not be a very popular selection, but looking at corners, not a huge fan of it. Looking at guard, pretty large fan of it. So it's going to be, I'm going to think we're going to go Sean Ryan here. He's been in a pretty mobile scheme, can play tackle as well. We're going to go Sean Ryan out of UCLA. 57, this is Darian Kennard or Trevor Penning. And I'm going to take Trevor Penning's upside over Darian Kennard's because I think Darian Kennard's immobility is going to be what kills him. And Trevor Penning has already played, he's already played left tackle, which is a very high level position. So he could fill in if injuries persist. So yeah, definitely somebody who would be worth it over Darian Kennard in my eyes. Again, somebody who he has some pretty big issues to clean up. Same thing with Trevor, but he has some crazy potential. 58. I think this would be a good spot for the Bills to go interior defensive line. You could get more pass rush from the interior, but I think a guy like Travis Jones would be really nice to help stuff the run. So Travis Jones out of UConn right there. Cowboys. Oof. This is always a tough one for me. I think I'm going to go wide receiver here. You could go guard as well. We're going to go guard. We're going to go Zion Johnson here out of Boston College, a guy who can play left guard and also left tackle. I think that versatility will be great in case Tyron Smith gets injured. So he's going to replace Connor Williams, and we're going to continue rocking from there. The Colts, slot could be something you go after. But I think the value of Darian Kennard being your right tackle is also extremely valuable. So we're going to go Darian Kennard here out of Kentucky. Weird one for sure. We're having a run on lineman here, but he's a guy, the value is just too good to pass on for him to be a right tackle. And the value of corner and slot just aren't very good. Number 61 for the Chiefs. This has to be a wide receiver here. Jalen Tolbert fits exactly what I would want for this team. So that's why I'm going to take him for it. 62 for the Buccaneers. Ooh, because I want corner for him. But again, we've already discussed it. Corner's not great value. We're going to go Wan'Dale Robinson out of Kentucky. It's always a spot that I trade back. But yeah, just Wan'Dale needs to be this pick. 63, I wish it were a wide receiver. If Wan'Dale were here, I'd take him in a heartbeat. Just not the case. I think that interior defensive line might be the right move. But first, let's look back on the draft and see if anybody's still here. Kenneth Walker is. He's not my number one running back. I'm not going to say what number running back he is because it would cause some havoc. But he's far from my number one running back. And I don't think he's very complete. I think Breece Hall is going to be your best bet on a number one running back in this class. Isaiah Spiller is a close one, though. Isaiah Spiller is very good. I just don't think he really has consistent juice, but he is phenomenal. He's a great player. So I think running back is going to be one of these picks. It's going to be Isaiah Spiller or Breece Hall. And I think Isaiah Spiller's ability to break tackles might make him RB1 in this class when all is said and done. So Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M. he reminds me a lot of Devin Singletary, where you already have Cordell Patterson to be that home run hitter. This guy can make people miss. So Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M. Ending off the second is the Packers. And the Packers, honestly, when looking at it, I'm not a fan of many of these picks here. So I'm going to continue looking around, seeing for somebody. Perion Winfrey is very attractive to me. Very attractive. Also, it's very Packers to not go after anybody on the offense. But we still got to look at it. I don't think that any of these, he doesn't fit what they're looking for. I'm going to go with a crazy pick here. We're going to go Sam Laporta out of Iowa. He's a true junior, but I think this guy's phenomenal. He has not declared the draft, but he's also not said as of yesterday that he's going to be returning. He's going to be my sneaky pick of the draft. So that's going to be it, guys. Let me know what you think. I ended it off in a fun way. This is a guy who I have a second round grade on after watching him. It's been fun. It's been real. Stay tuned for the trades mock coming out later in this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do. You guys make this totally worth it. Thank you for 3K. See you guys on the far side. Peace.